Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'd. So alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us opportunity to meet in the final session of Research Education Insight already 2021. So I really hope that our session today runs smoothly and blessed by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Distinguished guest yang berusaha Mr. Naharudin Mohd Nasir. He is a Senior Manager Digital Talent Development with the Digital Economic Corporation or MDEC. Distinguished academicians, researchers, practitioners, industrial players, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, alhamdulillah, we have come to the final session of REdI 2021 on the first day of the event. So it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome all of you again this late afternoon. Before we start, I am Rauda Ramli. I am from Academy of Contemporary Islamic Studies, UITM inshallah. So inshallah, I will be your moderator for this session. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin our meeting today through the broadening knowledge of minds and heart, and nurturing our intellectual and soul through digital economy, talent development that will be shared by our respected and prominent speakers. So before we go further details into digital economy, talent and development, let me address the background introduction of our honorable speakers. So he is a Senior Manager, Digital Talent Pipeline of Tertiary, Digital Talent Development, Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation on that. So he attained his first degree in Bachelor of Science in Engineering from 1989 to 1993 from Columbia Engineering. He also obtained a Master of Business Administration, MBA, from 2003 to 2005 from Multimedia University. And he also enrolled G20 Global Development Program, G20 Development Sustainable Development Institute in 2017 at Korea Development Institute. So her work skills are related to business strategy, strategic plan, and data center. So Mr. Naharudin, are you ready?
Inshallah, I am.
Okay. So let's just begin. Before that, a gentle reminder to all participants, if you have any inquiries related to our discussion today, you are invited to post your question to our speaker, and inshallah our speaker will respond to your question later. Okay, Mr. Naharudin, according to Age Market Report on November 2020, the digital transformation of can be described as one journey. Malaysia has started the process of integrating the digital technologies into all areas of its economy, such as healthcare system, real estate, financial services, manufacturing, retails, and so on. So this initiative and journey are next step to carve the position of heart of digital ASEAN. So according to Dato' Wira Dr. Haji Rais Hussein, Muhammad Arif, the chairman of MDEC, the digital economy in Malaysia is one of the aspiration for the country. So as the heart of digital ASEAN, Malaysia will serve a regional digital powerhouse, launching a global champion to lead the fourth industrial revolution, or IR 4.0. So in addition as well, MDEC are committed to leading the country's digital economy by creating inclusive, high quality growth through nationwide digitalization initiative, which are aligned with the shared prosperity vision 2030. So before we go further details on the digital economy and the contribution towards Malaysia GDP and so on, can you enlighten us what is basically the digital economy is? So please, Mr. Nick, mic is yours.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rada. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all present. First of all, I think I would like to thank on behalf of MDEC, the organizer, for inviting us to be part of this important knowledge sharing. It's a knowledge sharing because I think some of the people present in this session is probably more knowledgeable than me, but I will share to the best of my ability what MDEC's perspective is in terms of talent development for the digital economy. So back to your question on what is digital economy. I'm not an economist, but I think if you look up Google, then you can know, but economy is basically the on since human the earliest of human history. But digital economy is basically, if I could loosely say so, is the impact of digital technology on patterns of economy, right? On patterns of production and consumption. So this will include like how goods and services are produced, marketed, traded, and paid for. You can also say that now digital economy is recognized to include all parts of the economy that exploits technological changes that leads to marketing, business model, and day-to-day operations of various agents, various economic players. So when we say digital economy, now it's already very, very wide-ranging already. So you can think of the traditional technology. Traditional technology, when I say traditional, it's not like the old traditional economic activities, but traditional digital technology. So this includes things like media, telecom sectors, which have benefited and grew a lot with a different slew of advances in digital technology over the past 10-20 years, right? So as digital technology grows, there are more and more new digital sectors being introduced into the economic pie. So this includes things like e-commerce, right? I think 20 years ago, we were just talking about e-commerce, but now everybody is doing e-commerce. And MDEC, on our part, we are doing quite a number of activities to promote adoption of e-commerce by especially the SME, the startups, the SMEs, because big players, they know already the importance of digital economy, so adoption is not an issue for them. But for the small players, some of them were still contemplating whether it's worth it for them to actually adopt digital technology. So as part of our job in MDEC, we are promoting the adoption of digital technology by the SMEs and startups. And there are things like digital banking. Dr. Rauda, when was the last time you went to the bank? Physically meet the teller?
Last one, because I changed the debit card
Right.
Otherwise, just online transfer. Yes.
Otherwise, probably years and years ago, right? So
yes.
So yeah, digital technology has really changed the way we do our banking activities. And it's not just the new technology. We also have the traditional sectors, you know, like agriculture, mining, manufacturing, which if you go to let's say a car manufacturing plant now compared to a car manufacturing plant, let's say 20 years ago, if you pick a worker from the plant 20 years ago and bring him or her to the plant of today, then he or she wouldn't believe that, you know, it's really a car plant. It's like because you have all the robotic arms doing all the fetching of parts, putting together of parts and all that. So it's really different. So there's a lot of that, but that's manufacturing. How about things like agriculture? So there's a lot of economic activities, of course, in agriculture, but now with the digital technology, you have like the drones helping farmers to help them with their work, to do the surveying, to do the actual fertilizer spraying and all that. And you have the IoT, AI being built into the agriculture processes to make things more efficient and less labor intensive. In Malaysia, we are still to some extent still an agriculture nation, but we are highly dependent on foreign labor. So by using digital technology, we are reducing our dependence on those foreign laborers, and that is an example of how digital technology is affecting the digital economy. So apart from that, closer to what's happening nationwide now, the COVID-19, right? COVID-19 is really forcing us to do things differently. For example, we wouldn't have this online seminar today if not due to COVID-19, right? We'll be in some big seminar hall and enjoying nice foods afterwards. Right? Yeah. So COVID-19, my point is that COVID-19 is really pushing things, and based on latest study and reports, if you do your reading, then you can see that EdTech and also health tech, these are like the two key tech sectors which are really proliferating due to COVID-19. Right? I was reading a report earlier today by Google Economy Southeast Asia 2020. It was mentioning that the EdTech, for example, the EdTech apps growth installation by users grew 3 times due to COVID-19. So the user base for Southeast Asia was hovering around 3 million, but due to COVID-19, the user base is now the user base was 6 million, and COVID-19 pushed the user base to 20 million, more than 20 million. So it's more than 3 times growth in users of EdTech apps, right? And health tech, especially those related to patient. So this is like B2C sort of thing, business to consumer, is really have grown. The user base, the same report says that the user base grew 4 times, from 1 million users to 4 million users in Southeast Asia. So I think we're going to see more of this, like environmental changes, forcing and accelerating adoption of digital economy, and by virtue of adoption of a digital tech, and by virtue of that, digital economy contribution to the overall economic pie. So that's a little bit about digital economy.
Thank you, Mr. Naharudin, for your sharing on digital economy and the related sector contribute to the digital economy. Right. So my next question is about how Malaysia can create a dynamic ecosystem for the digital economy, such as infrastructure, maybe young entrepreneurs and public finance.
Sorry, Dr. Radha, I lost you just now. I didn't hear your question.
Sorry. My next question is how Malaysia can create a dynamic ecosystem for digital economy, such as infrastructure, regulations, skills, and public finance towards achieving the digital economy as ASEAN height of digital economy.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that is essentially what MDEC is tasked to do, to grow the digital economy. And by growing the digital economy, of course, we have to look at the overall ecosystem required to grow the digital economy. So like you rightly mentioned, infrastructure. So us being an agency under the Communications and Multimedia Ministry, KKMM, we have our sister agency, the MCMC, Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, which looks into the necessary infrastructure to help facilitate the growth of the digital economy. So I think you've been hearing about the universal access policy, and also in terms of the government pushing for the 5G implementation in Malaysia. So that is driven by the ministry and it is related agencies, MCMC, and that's like the hardcore infrastructure. But of course, in terms of the soft infrastructure, we are also making it easy for the tech players to come into Malaysia, and if they want to, do their development works here, do their test bedding here, then we are more than happy to play the role of facilitator for them. Like for example, making like a specific area as a 5G test bed. Okay, so that is also what we work with other agencies, other related agencies, and I think what's critical is the talent part. Okay.
Oh yeah,
talent part, right?
Exactly.
So. So if we look at I mentioned just now the Google Southeast Asia Economy Report 2020, they identified actually 6 drivers. Let me pull out the report. 6 drivers for digital economy adoption. First is internet access. So again, due to COVID, there are 40 million new users added in 2020. So making now the total of 400 million internet users in Southeast Asia. Then, of course, when you talk about the digital economy, you're making payments via e-payments. So cash as payment has fell from 48% to 37% of transactions. So more and more people are using like online transfer or e-wallets. E-wallets usage has grown from 18% to 25%. Consumer trust is also growing, because you need the consumer to trust that is whatever we're doing is secure and trustworthy. So consumer trust is improving. Funding, a lot of more funding are growing, pouring into digital tech development, as well as logistics services has also increased tremendously. But they specifically highlighted talent as in their exact word, talent remains a key blocker to be solved. So we really need to focus our efforts on improving the talent, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we're very happy to be having this session today, so that we can highlight that fact to everyone.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Naharudin. Very good response. So you have touched about the talent development. Now I would like to question about what are the required skills or talent needed if the participants out there, students out there interested to involve with digital economy. So beside that, we have one question. So I think you can answer my question first, and then we can continue with the question from the audience. The required skills or talent needed for the participants who are interested to involve with the digital economy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there are a lot of studies that have been done, a lot of consultant reports on this. I think basically we need to equip our students with what people are calling the 21st century skills,
Yes.
So this includes things like literacies. Literacy is no longer the basic literacy. You need to have, of course, you need to have the numeracy literacy, scientific literacy, social literacy, but you need everybody needs to have the financial literacy
Exactly.
and ICT literacy. ICT has become a basic literacy nowadays, because everybody needs to know literacy, whether you are a farmer, whether you are driving a taxi or Grab or whatever activity you're doing, you need to be ICT literate. Then the second part is our talent, they need to have the competencies, right? So they need to have the critical thinking, creativity, communication skills, and of course collaboration skills. And apart from that, they also need to have other qualities, personal qualities like leadership, initiative, and they have to have the persistence. No more. We need to have the persistence, because we are competing against the global talent, I would say. So you need to be strong in order to compete with the rest of the world. So persistence is very important.
All right.
Right. So those are the skills that we need to equip our students. But the university, they also need to have this awareness that the students, they are now more and more graduates are becoming, not like a proper employee, but they become entrepreneurs or become gig workers.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a trend worldwide also. Companies are more and more preferring to have not to have like permanent workers, and even the young workers these days, some of them even prefer to not be tied to one particular company, but instead they want to have the freedom to work when they have when they are best suited to work, and to take up jobs from various companies and various contracts, gig workers. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Naharudin. Now, how students can develop those talents? For instance, like me as an educator, what are the skills related to digital that we can provide in the course or in the class, such as I'm economist. No, my background is economy, and I'm teaching on zakat and taxation, Islamic financial planning. How can we relate? How can we touch on digital in the class? Do you have any suggestion, or you can or MDEC has provide any research grant or any support in facilitate the digital economy in university-based training?
Oh, okay. So if I get your question right, how can students
Yes.
obtain digital tech or digital economy related skills,
Yes.
whether it's from university based or other sources, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think university students these days, they are probably more exposed compared to 10, 20 years ago. So learning, of course, you have the formal learning from the university, and you also have more and more informal learning, right? So formal learning from university, we work with quite a number of universities in Malaysia, and we know for a fact that a number of universities, they are introducing like compulsory course on digital tech, like introduction to digital tech, or even introduction to data science, whereby they make it compulsory for all of their students to take up these subjects, this course, before the students graduate. So regardless of whether you're coming from the Faculty of Economics or Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Architecture, everybody goes through the basic introduction to digital tech. Unless if you're in the tech faculty, the CS or IT, then probably you don't need to take that, because you're already covering much more beyond that in your own study course, right? And we also know some other universities, they're offering it as elective. So I think most of our universities, especially the ones that we deal with, the awareness that they need to expose their students to digital tech is there, and they are doing something about it, introducing it. But on their own, the students, there are so much informal learning avenues available to them these days. So as mentioned before, EdTech is really growing. More and more users signing up for EdTech. For example, Coursera last year, in response to COVID-19, in March, they started offering free courses from March until end of 2020. So they have like more than 3,000 course titles offered. So those are all available for free. But that's just an example. There are also other platforms where the students can go and learn for free. Of course, if once they went through the free course, if they want to learn more, then there are other more advanced courses which probably needs which probably involve some sort of paid module. But that's worth it because it brings value. You have the certification from the online certification, and some of the online certification is also tied to like technology giants like Microsoft online modules, right? So informal learning is there, and MDEC also we have our list of approved courses which we know are in demand by the industry. So it's there, digital skills training directory we call it, and it's available on our website. If you Google digital skills training directory, so you can see there the list of courses are there, and you can we give you the link to sign up to contact the technology providers directly. So it's there.
Great. So thank you, Ms. Sini. I'm interested when you covered about the digital skills directly from MDEC. So do you provide any, for instance, like research grant for educators to develop an interactive learning related to the course in the university, so that a student, more engaged in the digital and so on?
Right.
Any research grant provided by MDEC?
Okay, research. That's actually a popular question. Okay. Partly is partly is our fault also, because we used to carry big grants in our earlier years, but since the last few years, I think the government has consolidated all the grants under different ministries. So like mostly they have several grants, which I think is also open to university to apply. And of course, I think Mohd also has a number of grants for universities to do their research related to this. So the grant is there, but it's not under MDEC.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Naharudin. Now back to the talent development. We have a few questions from the audience.
Right.
Number one question is, what can graduates obtain from MDEC's program? Mr. Naharudin, please.
Okay.
What
can graduates obtain from MDEC? Okay. Right. So what can graduates obtain from MDEC programs? So we have programs where because I think one of the best ways to spread the benefit of the digital tech to the university is through the lecturers. So we run actually training and certification programs for lecturers with the latest technologies, right? Because we used to run programs whereby we train the students directly, but I think we realized that there's so many students to train. So a more effective way would be for us to train lecturers, identify the lecturers who are committed to this course of learning from the industry and spreading the benefit to the students. So when we train the lecturers, we make sure that whatever learning that they get from the technology providers is embedded into the curriculum.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Very good initiative. What about the fees and the time of duration of the training, Mr. Naharudin?
Okay, the fees, because we are sort of negotiating on behalf of the universities. So when we approach the the technology owners, technology providers, we usually get a hefty discount from them. And to the lecturers, usually is on a reimbursement basis. That means the lecturers would pay first. If they pass and get certified, then we will reimburse.
Okay.
So it's basically free for them.
Oh, I see. Very good.
Provided they pass lah.
Okay.
But lecturers are good, kan?
We continue to the next question from the audience. Did MDEC hiring non-economic graduates in your institute or entities?
Okay. Yes, we MDEC as a company, we don't hire because our capacity to absorb is not as big. But what we do is because we are linked to quite a number of industry players. So we get demand from these industry players and channel it to the universities. And we've been doing this. We've been channeling the demand from the industry to the universities' career centers, as well as the faculties that we deal with, right? So, it's being done. What's still, but sometimes when we do that, when we check with the career centers, we sort of got the feedback that not many students apply. So we are wondering why.
Okay.
Like last year, for example, when the COVID-19 set, so we knew that we had to do something to help the students. So we, with our companies, so we managed to get like 1,000 vacancies from the companies, and we share to the career centers, and we get very few feedback from universities. So that's quite a mystery to us lah. And we last year we also had a virtual career fair where there were like 3,000 to 4,000 vacancies. Same also, we shared the opportunity to the universities, and not many applications were received. So it's something that we need to figure out why lah. Maybe we can have a session.
MDEC promotion among student atau young generation or entrepreneurs related to digital economy, Mr. Naharudin. Your promotion in terms of digital skills among young entrepreneurs or young students related to digital economy. Any promotion you provide to facilitate the skills among students or entrepreneurs?
Yes, we through our other one of our initiative, the e-Usahawan EU, we basically work with all the public universities, whereby we embed our module into the university curriculum, into their entrepreneurship modules. And we also train the trainers, train the lecturers to make sure that the benefit is enjoyed by the students. And we also track like how many students are involved and are they generating sales from their products, from the e-Usahawan initiative. So that's all being done. Maybe maybe somehow our name didn't appear so much, but the module that are being offered at I would say all the public universities are basically coming from our e-usahawan module, which we integrate into the university curriculum. So in terms of entrepreneurship, we are quite well covered.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Naharudin. I'm interested with one of the product provided by MDEC, which is they call as a e-berkat marketplace, if I'm not mistaken, which that one is covered for B40 community. Can you elaborate more? So instead of you are focusing on students, you are focusing on entrepreneurs, you also are focusing those who are B40 community. So
B40.
do you have any other initiative or your endeavors towards digital economy among the B40 communities?
Right. Okay, because we realize that digital economy is not an elitist thing. It should be enjoyed by all. So it cannot be just the people in the city or the graduates enjoying the benefits of the digital economy, but everyone should be enjoying, because it brings benefits in terms of widened opportunity. So what we do with the e-berkat is started from something we call e-rezeki. So e-berkat is that we work with the underprivileged community, the B40 community, and we help to train them with a basic ICT literacy, and get them on board to be exposed to the opportunities of doing different type of jobs that they are used to. They exposed to online work, simple online work. Of course, no coding or whatever. The coding part, we also have a program, but that's more for university students. But these are like simple tagging or simple clicking, simple jobs which are fitted for the basic literacy that the B40 has. So it's there. We try to reach as many communities as possible by leveraging on the REdI infrastructure, which the government has, like all the pusat internet desa and all that.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So we continue to the next question from the audience. Did MDEC offer employability scheme for young graduates?
Employability scheme for young graduates. Like I said, we work with the industry, so we get the demand from the industry and offer it to the university. So employability scheme, I'm not quite sure when the word scheme, what does it mean, but we do the matching, because we believe if there is demand from the company and we have the ready supply from the university, then what's needed is actually just to do the matching, because the university is more than happy to take in the students lah.
Okay.
Only now with the ministry, we are also working with the ministry, like the Penjana and all that, to help link the industry to the university lah, under the schemes.
Okay, so it's a good initiative provided by MDEC. Okay, Mr. Naharudin, we have two more questions from the audience. Question from Ida as a senior: what would you advise final year students and fresh graduate before we enter the job market?
Yes, thank you, Ida. So, final year students and fresh grads, I think final year students, you have to go for your internship, right? So when you go for your internship, make sure you pick those companies, depending on your interest, but those internship offering exposure to digital tech. Even though maybe you're coming from economics faculty, doing Bachelor of Economics, but try to do internship positions that require digital tech exposure. Maybe not as an economist somewhere, but try to do something related to digital, because these days, because we also talk with like headhunters and all that. So they say even for non-tech positions, they are asking the graduates whether the graduates have any digital tech skills. So it's that important, right? So that would be my advice. And like I said, how else you can get it other than internship? Of course, you go to the free online platforms like Coursera and all that. You can learn all those basic skills online on your own. Right? You have to work a bit harder, but it's worth it. And another thing is language, because language skills, Malaysia is known as having the graduates with strong language capabilities, especially English and Mandarin. But there are other languages out there which are very also in high demand, like Korean, Japanese, all of that. So if you have those skills, you'll be in high demand also. I know, I was talking to my neighbor, he's in the logistics business. He said they're hiring. There is a Japanese-based company, they're hiring. So for fresh grads, if you know the Japanese language, they're willing to pay 1,000 ringgit extra. So if your basic salary is 2,500, it's 3,500. Your basic is 3,000, it's 4,000. It's worth it, right?
Yeah, worth it. It's a good advice anyway. Right. Okay, Mr. Naharudin, we have one question from the audience.
Right.
Is there any programs that MDEC organize for the secondary school to nurture the skills of entrepreneur among them? So, question from audience.
Okay, we have programs for secondary school. We have like the Digital Ninja, we call them, where we identify top talents. But specific for entrepreneur, is probably not there yet, because probably it's for us, it's too early a stage for MDEC to intervene with, because usually we intervene with the view of preparing the students for employment, because we are at the other end of the spectrum, we are serving the companies, right? So for secondary school students, is probably a bit too early, right? So to answer your question, no.
All right.
But if there's demand, we can always consider.
All right. Thank you to Mr. Naharudin. According to Secretariat, so far there is no question from audience. So as a conclusion, my last question, perhaps, what is your hopes towards digital economy that we can implement towards students, future graduate student, entrepreneur, and so on?
Right.
Hope.
So my hope is that Malaysia will fully realize its potential, because we, as a nation, we have really good potential, but we just need to pull our act together. I think specifically if you're talking about the university, I mentioned just now, the university need to equip the students with the 21st century skills, and need to prepare the students not just to become an future employer, but also future entrepreneur or future gig workers. So in order to achieve that, I think we really need to build up or improve our capability to work with industry more, right? Because the industry, they really need, on their side, they need to work with the universities. It's to their advantage as well. So it's a win-win situation. The universities are their supplier of talents, source of new innovation, R&D, right? And also to build up their user base. If more students or more lecturers use their product, then their user base is already growing. So how do we make the industry engagement better? I have a few suggestions. First, I think we can make the universities more accessible.
Okay.
Right now, if let's say company A wants to work with UITM, faculty of, what's your faculty again?
Academic Contemporary of Islamic Studies.
Academic Studies. They wouldn't know how to approach you.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And if a company wants to work on like two initiatives with a particular university, they have to talk to two different people and all that. So it's cumbersome for them because for big company, even for big companies, maybe they have the capacity to talk to, let's say, 10 universities, but beyond that, they simply don't have the capacity to do that. So probably at the there's like a directory for company to go there and say, I'm let's say a fintech company. I want to work with a university. Can I see which universities are focusing on fintech, and how do I contact the university? So when the company contacts the university, there should be a one-stop center at the university where contact that center, then is for whatever, for internship, for jobs, for research, for collaboration, setting up center of excellence and all that. That center will be able to answer everything to the company. So we make it easy for the companies to approach university. And number two is we need to keep updating the lecturers. I mentioned just now training certification. And why not we try something like as part of the promotion criteria, lecturers need to be exposed to industry.
Oh yes.
Whether industry attachment ke, training ke, certification ke, right. Then in terms of curriculum advisory, third one is in terms of curriculum advisory. I know each university now they have to, as part of the curriculum development, they need to get industry input, right? But there's only so many industry experts and they are quite occupied with their day job, right? Exactly. So why don't we set up a panel at the national level, maybe managed by a central body, where universities can just go to this panel and tell the panel, okay, I'm reviewing or developing new curriculum. Please advise me, rather than each university setting up their own panel. So we have a more standardized way to do it, and we can also, I think, guarantee a higher level of quality. Probably in teaching and learning also involve the industry more, but I think the ministry is working, is already moving in the right direction in this area, and we also need to make the talent supply and demand more information, more available, more readily available, more efficient through a probably centralized platform lah. Because now there's so many players, and students also don't know where to go. Industry also don't know where to go to get talent, and university also not sure whether they are producing the right talent for the next 2-3 years. So the whole talent supply and demand punya information sharing needs to be looked at as well. So I think those are my few suggestions lah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Naharudin, for your 3 suggestions. It's really beneficial to all of us. So before we end our session, there are one more question from the audience.
Yes, good.
So I think it's a very hot topic for this today's session. So the question from the audience: as an employer, what can we do to develop the interest towards digital talent among the employee?
Among the employee.
How to develop the interest?
This is talking about the current workforce, right?
Yeah, current workforce.
Okay. Okay, because if you're talking about the current workforce, then basically the employee will look at what's important to the company, right? Let's say if the company values ethics, ethical business, in doing their business. So and it's being enforced day in day out by the management. Of course, the employees will become ethical employees when dealing whether internally or whether also with their client base, right? So similarly, I think for digital, I think it has to be championed by the management of the company. You know, if the management of the companies really puts great importance on digital technology and reward adoption of digital technology, reward mastery of skills of digital technology, then of course the interest will be there. Let's say if you take Microsoft certified data science something, okay. So the employer says if you take this certification or that certification, then you will stand a chance to be promoted, or you will stand a chance to have a bigger salary jump next year. Definitely, the employees will be interested.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a company culture as well, you know.
It's a good suggestion as well because of the rewards for the employees.
Yes,
so
yes,
the
yes.
motivation will increase.
Yes, yes. I'm sure if the university also tells the same to the lecturers, then the lecturers won't, whether you're doing language studies or whatever, if the university says if you take Microsoft certification, you get 3 months bonus, then
Inshallah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Naharudin, for your application, your suggestion, and so on. I think we don't have any question from the audience. So, inshallah, alhamdulillah. Thank you, Mr. Naharudin, for
Thank
your
you for having me.
Inspiring sharing session about the digital economy and talent development. So every there is a saying, to every start we have there is an end. So and now the final session of the first day of REdI 2021 has come to the finale. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of committee members, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our prominent speakers and participants for gracing our session with your presence. And we really appreciate it, and we really hope that it will be beneficial to all of us. So in a nutshell, to future graduates, students, let us upgrade and enhance our talent, our skills such as financial skills, the ICT skills, leadership skills, language skills from now on to put ourselves to the next level in the future, inshallah. So me as an educator as well and other academician staff are also trying our best to equip the learning skills according to 21st century learning in curriculum, to collaborate with the industry, doing an internship and so on. So because of what? Because we are interdependent to each other, and we can achieve digital economy, especially in Malaysia, inshallah. So thank you once again to all speaker and participant. So before we leave the meeting, I have a few announcements to all participants. The second day of REdI 2021 will be continued in the next day on 12th January 2021, inshallah. So the first session tomorrow will start at 9 o'clock, and the topic is about developing a successful startup by Dr. Hanafia Yusof, a founder and group CEO Robopreneur, Sendian Berhad, inshallah. So we end our session today with tasbih, kafarah dan surah Al-Nas.
Setiap kisah yang hebat bermula dengan sebuah perjalanan. Setiap idea yang bernas ditemui oleh seorang insan. Masa depan yang cerah bermula dengan suatu visi. Visi yang tiada batasan. Visi yang membuka pelbagai peluang yang tiada tandingan dan berteraskan asas yang kukuh. visi masa hadapan, di mana teknologi hari esok mencorak komuniti hari ini. Visi masa hadapan, di mana teknologi dan inovasi dapat melonjak ekonomi. Meningkatkan produktiviti, memperkasa komuniti, serta memudahkan kehidupan kita semua. Kita impikan perkembangan demi negara yang lebih cemerlang. Setiap insan ada peranannya. Berpandukan satu visi, mara ke depan bersama. Dan semuanya bermula dari impian anda, masa depan bersama.